We welcome you in to the Small Ball Podcast alongside Trevor Michelin and Christian Dennis. I'm Scott Ayers. And Christian, welcome back. Your long pilgrimage has finally come to an end. You're in New Mexico. You're going to San Francisco. But today, you're here on the Small Ball Podcast.
Yeah. You could say me and Pitbull have a lot in common because I, too, am Mr. Worldwide.
Wow.
Dale.
I like that.
I was in Dallas first.
You were. I didn't even include
Yeah,
you.
I flew to Dallas last week. No, 2 weeks ago at this point. And then from Dallas went to New Mexico. And then now I'm back. But I had a cool story from Dallas.
Let's hear it.
I like it.
All right. So I was in Dallas for a conference called Vid Summit. And this is a conference for YouTubers to help them perfect their craft, grow their business, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So I picked up something for us. I said, hey, guys, let's make some AI-generated videos. And none of us know how to do that. So we kind of just stopped that
That
there.
got left by the wayside very quick.
I brought it to the council, and we just don't have the talent for that. Andy, yeah.
No, okay, yeah. So I do know how to do it, and
Oh, okay.
and I looked into it, and I'm gonna do this episode as a test run.
Whoa.
So, yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Oh,
Episode title,
Like
Andy's
chopping up like into sound bites.
It basically, I guess we can get into it. But
Yeah, let's get into
basically-
it.
Basically, it'll chop it up and it'll let me edit like basically a transcript form of the podcast, and then from there I can make the whole reel and everything very easily. But it'll analyze everything and grade it on like whether it'll go viral or not. It's like a virality.
Interesting.
Whoa.
So-
This is going to be titled Andy's Test, where Andy's test things.
Yes. Andy's in the lab.
Yeah, you're in
Well,
the-
okay, maybe I did learn something from Vid Summit. Well, I actually didn't learn anything. I just told you guys what they were talking about, and then
But that
Andy's
has
gonna
now
do.
turned into something you've learned.
Yeah. So kind of sick of me, I know. But that's not the point. I got invited to a VIP event at Vid Summit.
What?
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy. So it's like me and some bigger YouTubers there, and the VIP party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys I couldn't tell if you guys are paying attention.
VIP party.
You said VIP party.
I'm locked in.
seat.
Yeah,
Tell
okay,
us.
okay. The VIP party was at the Dude Perfect headquarters.
Wow. Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah, so like if you watch any Dude Perfect video and it's like them on a basketball court or like them behind their table for their little game show, I was there.
Wow.
It was wild.
Did you get to meet Dude Perfect?
The only ones that were there from Dude Perfect were the two twins, and those are like the two guys like no one cares about them, but like that's like the lower of the totem pole. I want to
Sure.
see the guy with the beard.
Right.
That's the
guy
only
with
guy I
beard.
want to meet.
The one that went across those medicine balls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, set a world record.
I saw that video yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he's the face of Dude Perfect.
And that was at the headquarters.
Yeah, that's sick. But it was cool because we walked in and it's like the full court basketball court and everyone's just like hooping. So I was just like
That's sick.
picking
you
up a
hoop?
ball and I was chucking up some shots. And every time I made a shot, I even tried to shoot shots that were a little bit farther out because I wanted to be like, I make it and I look around and it's like someone just say like, oh, Dude Perfect. But there was no one.
did. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, you would think they would scout, like, hey,
Yeah.
we need fresh face for
You
our
got to
content.
keep this going. I mean, half of them are like married and have a mortgage, but I guess it's their full-time job, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
They sent one of the twins to space.
Did they really?
Yeah. No, that was a legit video. So maybe does that change your thoughts on them on the totem pole?
Actually, yeah, they just move the one that went to space moves up on my totem pole
Okay,
to above the other twin.
that's. But he's still below everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, that's sick. Anything else? You meet anyone else?
Did
no,
you
not
go to the new Canes? The Dallas Cowboys Post Malone Canes?
Shoot, I didn't, man. I didn't.
I've been getting ads for that for some reason.
Oh,
I live in Arizona.
I did notice he was wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey that said Post Malone times Canes.
Yeah.
So
adds up.
yeah.
Adds
Adds
up.
up.
I have to make a quick apology.
Let's hear it, Scott.
On last week's episode, I obviously got a little carried away with our viewers, one on Spotify, because I thought they couldn't watch anything. I just figured it was pure audio. And little did I know, I go on Spotify the next day, and there we are, just looking like idiots. And by we, I mean me. So I apologize to them and our German listeners, because I kind of went in on the Germans too.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Spotify. I never thought Spotify would get video, but I guess it's been there for a year.
Are you a little concerned that like the German listeners like know what you look like now?
Yeah, I was like, first of all, they don't know what YouTube is, and secondly, they're never going to be able to see me on Spotify.
Yeah.
And now they can see me on Spotify.
Yeah, that's not good.
So yeah, that's just a quick apology.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the NBA. We'll kind of briefly touch on a few things, and we're going to make our league pass teams of the year. But first, let's briefly touch on Charlotte. Whenever we touch on them, it feels like there's a flaming dumpster, and we're touching on them, and guess what? It's still just a flaming dumpster in Charlotte.
Kai Jones, what a guy. What a character. All offseason posting insanely wild things on Twitter and Instagram. He's hopping on IG Live, sweating profusely in his apartment, dancing. He's from the Bahamas, so he sounds like he's under the influence to some extent.
Sure, but it might just be.
It may just be his accent, but also like the dude he's saying just the most wild things. So all
the greatest ever.
I'm the greatest ever. He's talking crap. He's talking crap about his other like bigs on the Hornets, saying that these guys like, oh, he can't pull up. Oh, I'm way better than this guy. It's like his teammates. And it finally came back to bite him. The Hornets had enough.
Yeah, and honestly, shout out to the Hornets for waiving him. You know, they have a player on that roster that should be waived at this point in Miles Bridges, with all of his accusations of domestic abuse. But yet he's still on the team. So I think that the Charlotte Hornets, they just need to find some stability, and they need to just kind of go with that. You know, You got LaMelo. He's great. You know, some of us, I don't know if all of us on this show have been kind of haters, you could say, of Brandon Miller, but he's played all right during preseason. And
and here's a little context for those who don't know. Kai Jones just having a wild offseason, being weird, crazy stuff on Instagram, social media. Miles Bridges just got charged with or accused.
He turned himself in because he
had some allegations.
Yeah, it was with the same case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a warrant out for his arrest, if I'm not mistaken.
But he turned himself in. So.
Turned himself in. Miles Bridges.
His mugshot, he was smiling.
Right. Yeah. And then Brandon Miller was involved, or at least a suspect, in a murder.
Yeah. But that was when he was that was when he was in college.
That's when he was in
totally
college.
Different guy.
Totally different.
But that's the context of guys that the Hornets have added to their team. And even with all the other stuff going on, they drafted a guy like Brandon Miller. Not saying that he's guilty or anything, but at some point you have to start making decisions as an organization if you want to begin to build a solid culture. That word gets thrown around a lot, but you can't do it with guys who have poor character.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the one funny thing is there was a post about Kai Jones. Terry Rozier commented on it on Instagram, and it was like, is he all right? And Kai Jones essentially was like, yeah, I'm the greatest ever, blah, blah, blah. And Rozier was like, okay, so no.
Oh, yeah, that was Terrence Ross.
Oh, Terrence Ross, not Terry Rozier, Terrence Ross.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, Clifford's their head coach.
Yeah.
Steve Clifford, who already had an unsuccessful tenure there. They missed out. I don't remember who the coach was last offseason. And Atkinson, you said? Yeah. So instead, they go and rehire Clifford. It's like, what other organization would do that?
Especially since Clifford was their coach before their last coach.
Yes.
So it's not even he coached them in the early 2000s. No, he coached them within this decade.
Yeah, and we fired him, and now we want to bring him back. It just there's so many issues, and LaMelo, I don't know what he's thinking, but it's man, Other teams know how to build around their young players.
Yeah.
Charlotte has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, I look around the league and I see a lot of teams that are building well. Most of the bad teams, quote unquote bad teams in the West, I see their direction and I see what they're trying to do. The Hornets are one of the few teams that I look at and I think this is awful.
Yes.
Like them and maybe the Wizards. I mean, the Wizards may have slightly a direction after. I mean, they decided to trade Beal and move forward, but the Hornets, like, what are they doing? So yeah, Scott, I like that, bringing up the concept of maybe like LaMelo. Does he want to be there much longer? I wouldn't be surprised if later this season we start to hear some trade requests from him,
Especially if they certify stink again.
which I think they will.
Andy.
I just thought of this off the cuff. It would be fun to see him in a Spurs jersey just because I want him to stay in the small ball market. So I think that would be sick.
Can you imagine LaMelo and Wemby?
That'd be nuts.
That would be... I mean, Wemby would be catching lobs from the three-point line from LaMelo because
Yeah.
he's just been ripping it from half court.
That would be a crazy duo. I think that there would be so many teams lined up to try to trade for LaMelo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how could you not want a 6'7" guard who can do a little bit of everything?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There would be teams that would give up a lot.
Yeah, Charlotte's got some things to figure out. Let's briefly touch on Wemby because there were obviously some armchair viewers that thought, yeah, this guy's not very good. Hand up. I think he's going to be really good.
I do too.
I'm going to put my hand up as well.
Andy behind the scenes, hand up.
Yeah. There's definitely some skepticism coming into the Summer League preseason. But he's just so tall. So he is a freak.
He is so handsome.
He's literally so handsome. Wee.
He's so good, dude.
He's just so nuts. I mean, like the other game, I don't know if this was against the Heat or not, but like he passed the ball and then he called for an alley-oop at the 3-point line. Like what? Like he took one step in and then caught a lob and dunked it.
I mean, the highlights are hilarious. The dunk over Thom Bryant, excuse me. Yeah. And it's just like, it's not real. It's what you would make in 2K is like some 7'4" big guy who can actually shoot. Like he hit a step back jumper, I think, against the Heat too. And it's like, wow. We were talking about before the show, though. It will be fun, those early season matchups when he gets like AD or Chet or Jokic or Embiid, because some of those guys are going to be like, hey, welcome to the league. Chet, not so much because he's new as well, but Anthony Davis and Embiid specifically, those feel like two guys who are like, no, we're going to take this personally.
And I feel like everyone's going to want to attack him. I mean, that's what everyone does with the number one pick. Like, all the rookies come in and like players are like, this is barbecue chicken. And then so it'll be interesting to see the matchups he gets. I'm sure because of who he is and his length, like there's going to be times where he gets the better end of the matchup. Like,
oh, for sure.
I mean, how do you shoot over a guy who's 7'3" and then has like a wingspan that's like 8 feet long?
Yeah, I just imagine the guys trying to leverage their strength against Wemby, and they make a move. They try to get into his body and bump him, and they go up. But just because of how long he is, he's going to be able to get up there and defend the rim. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. I think he's going to be an all-star year one.
Wow.
I do.
I don't think it's a terrible take at all.
I think, I just don't see him not being good right away. Why? Why not? Like, I get that maybe he's a little, like he's definitely needs to grow in strength. But regardless, he's got the size, he's got the length, he moves really well on the court. He's got high IQ. He's in the system that's going to just give him the ball. Yeah. I think he'll be an all-star year one.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to start. He's going to play every game. He's probably going to play 30-plus minutes a night. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if I would have said that before seeing what he's doing in preseason against NBA talent. I know it's not like the guys aren't going at him like they would in the regular season, but I'm seeing him go up against NBA players, and the dude is dominating. The dude, like you said, Thomas Bryant's face said it all.
Yeah. I mean, he dunked on Thomas Bryant, and not a single part of his body was inside, like, the restricted area.
Yeah, it's insane. I just looked up the last rookie to become an all-star.
Can we guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was so anticlimactic.
I didn't know if there was someone since then that had, but I knew Blake Griffin did.
Yeah, so Blake Griffin was the last
Wow.
rookie to win an all-star or get the all-star nod, which that was
Tim Duncan did it
2010,
also.
2011 year. You would think like a guy like Luka would have made all-star his first year. Or, I mean, I guess Zion didn't really play that much his rookie year to where he really got the attention.
I thought Zion did actually, no? Did he not?
I mean, no, he didn't get an all-star his rookie year.
Oh, okay.
But that, yeah, I mean, first guy since like 10 years ago. It's pretty nuts.
No, I was gonna ask, has there ever been a rookie that was named as an all-star starter? Because I feel like that could
Maybe
happen. And
LeBron?
like, yeah, some people have been snubbed before, but I don't know. Has
LeBron feels like the only guy I can think of.
right? I feel like he belongs there.
Like old grandpa.
I wonder if Tim Duncan, pretty sure he made All-Star his first year. Yeah, he did. I just don't know if he was a starter. Dude, Tim Duncan in his first season, 21 and 12.
Jeez.
And 2.5 blocks. I wouldn't be surprised if he started. He played all 82 games, too.
He probably started.
Yeah.
That's
LeBron didn't even make the
No, not.
All-Star game as a rookie.
Whoa.
Yeah, it says LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kobe, which Kobe struggled kind of coming in. But, yeah, those guys did not make All-Star their first year.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, it
crazy.
says only 45 rookies in NBA history have made All-Star.
About to be
45?
46.
45, yeah.
That's a lot.
Wait, Christian
cool.
Brown didn't make it last year?
Oh wow, yeah, Yao Ming, Tim Duncan, Grant Hill. Grant Hill's kind of wow, and Shaq. Shaq was a beast.
Of course.
Dude, Grant Hill, people forget about Grant Hill. Like
I
he
do.
was so nice, and then he had all those ankle injuries that kind of like prohibited his like athletic ability.
So
But
tough.
it's crazy.
It is crazy.
That was a nice neck pop.
Thanks. Hey, guys, I also saw, I was scrolling on Instagram Reels and came across this video of a fan. It was at a Brooklyn Nets game showing Ben Simmons a tattoo that he had on his chest. The dude lifts his shirt or pulls the shirt to the side and shows Ben Simmons' like portrait of his face, Ben Simmons' portrait on his chest right above his heart. So I was wondering for you guys, which just was mind blowing to me that guy got a tattoo of Ben Simmons. Like, listen, I could get Kobe maybe. I could get LeBron. Ben Simmons. So I was wondering, like, who for you guys would be the weirdest tattoo that you can think of someone getting on their body, like a recognizable player.
Oh,
I mean, that's so wild.
Andy's got one.
A Nick Young tattoo would blow my mind.
Nick
Yeah,
Young.
I would absolutely lose it if I saw somebody have like a Nick Young, or if it was like the meme where the basket doesn't go in and he's already celebrating. That would be hilarious.
I feel like someone's got to have a tattoo of that. Does it have to be a current player?
No,
Sam Cassell.
that would be crazy.
That would be awesome.
Where is that tattoo?
Yeah. Maybe a thigh tat of Sam Cassell.
I feel like people would see that and they're like,
Is that ET?
"Oh, you got an ET tat?" and be like, "No, it's Sam Cassell,
That's so mean.
Houston Rockets legend."
I love Sam Cassell.
Hey, he deserves to be a head coach, man.
Yeah, he does. Honestly, I think he was an all-star at one point too.
Whoa.
Yeah. First player that came to my mind was Chris Kaman.
Nice.
And in particular, Chris Kaman
Time all-star.
on the Clippers. If you remember Chris Kaman, his hairstyle was like he was essentially like kind of bald on top, but then he had long hair to like his like shoulders,
Yeah.
and that was like
So handsome.
so handsome. That was like one of those players where I was just like, man, you just gotta cut it. Like,
Yeah. Dude, imagine like pulling up to a bar and a guy's like, "Let me show you a tattoo," and he like lifts his shirt up and up on the shoulder, just a very detailed Avery Bradley.
Oh, Avery.
That would be
Like,
so good.
What connections do you have to get an Avery Bradley tattoo?
You got last in your fantasy basketball league.
That's the only thing I
That's
can
all I
think
can
of.
think of.
Do you think that's the reason why the guy had the Ben Simmons tattoo?
He looked like a genuine big fan though. But I would be too if I was like, I would buy into Ben Simmons if I had to get a tattoo of him, you know?
Yeah, you kind of have to. You had to commit to that.
So that's
bit.
true. Yeah, maybe that's why.
Do you? Did they show like Ben Simmons' reaction?
Ben Simmons, like, yeah, he dapped him up and like kind of turned to the camera like in disbelief, but was like he's like, that's cool, man.
He didn't like offer to sign his chest.
He signed maybe I think he signed something.
Do you want me to just color that in or something?
I feel like if I had Ben Simmons tattooed on my man boob, I would want him to sign it as well.
Can you sign this for me? I just would go a long way, Mr.
Yeah.
Simmons.
Mr. Simmons. Benjamin, please. Also, do you think this guy was like a Sixers fan before, or was he like just a diehard Nets fan and then like they got Ben Simmons? He's like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, because that's when I heard that, I was wondering if he was also following him like in Australia.
Here's the video. So he kind of shows him, and then Ben Simmons points at it, turns to the camera, and gives him a T-shirt. That's it.
Wow.
I mean, he looks thrilled.
I mean, anything to get a free T-shirt, right?
It's worth it.
Yes. Nothing like a free tee from at a game. Like those are awesome.
Those hit.
Game
and
worn.
you wear them like twice.
Never
Yeah.
wash it.
And then it's like you see it at your Goodwill.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I remember this game.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Good stuff. Well, Andy, you got something?
No, I was just gonna say good stuff. Like, good off-topic rant.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, all right. Well, let's finish this thing up with. We are so close to NBA season. We are holding off what we think will happen next year for the following episode, since it'll be right on the cusp of the NBA season. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna talk about 3 teams. Each picked a team. Our League Pass team. A game that you just don't want to miss. They'll be fun to watch. We're not going to pick like a top team in the league, but we do all have a different team. So, Trevor, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm fired up to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just love the pieces that they have on that team. They're heading into a season where they're expected to win. They've been bad for so long, and they've been developing their young talent, but now they're about to turn a corner, and I'm excited to watch SGA lead this team full of guys like Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and others. I just expect them to have a lot of fun highlights, them to be, I mean, I love Chet's attitude, and I could just see this culture like being a kind of like the Memphis Grizzlies rise, where it was like us against everybody. We're dogs. We think we can face up against any team in the league. I think the Thunder are going to have that kind of season, and I'm so fired up to watch that.
They do feel like the team, because it feels like every year there's one team that makes a big jump.
Yeah.
They feel like of all the teams to make that jump.
Yeah. And then also a sleeper team I have. Are you going to say the team I think you're going to say? Anyone? Yeah, you are. Okay. I'm just going to hype you up with you.
I'll jump into it then. I'll take mine. I mean, this team is the Pelicans.
Yes.
I am the fact like Zion is healthy. Like I'm always going to tune in if Zion Williamson is playing.
Yeah.
Like he is the type of guy that I just love to watch, because you don't know what kind of highlight reel he's going to put out. And two, like the Pelicans are one of those teams where, you know, they were first in the West last year until they got hit with injuries. So it's like they're a really good team. And if they can just stay healthy with B.I., CJ, Herb Jones, I know Trey Murphy's going to be injured to start the year, but he'll be coming towards the end. Like that's a fun and young team to watch. So that's kind of why I want to watch the Pelicans. I mean, dude, I love watching Zion play. He's so fun.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I expect them to be a team that exceeds their expectations also.
Feels like a prove-it year, too, because of the injuries, because they made that trade for Anthony Davis, and nothing's really coming to fruition yet. It feels like, all right, we really need to prove that this roster can actually do it in the West.
Well, also, too, like Brandon Ingram, he might not even re-sign with them.
Right.
So it's like if he is he's one entering into a contract year, so he's got a ball. And then two, it's like if he even gets traded, like imagine the package that, someone's going to give up to get BI, and who knows, that could make the Pelicans even better, depending on who's available for them. So yeah, that whole organization, like what's going around them is just like really interesting.
Yeah, definitely a fun team to track. I'm going to take my talent out east. Yeah, I'm going to take my team to the Eastern Conference. The Indiana Pacers. That's going to be a very fun, frisky team. A little bit different spot than...
Frisky.
I'm obsessed with frisky.
Dude, this is like every episode.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I want to describe like a team that is on the come up that might not be a playoff team yet, very frisky. And that's who the Indiana Pacers are. But they're going to make another step. Benedict Mathurin, who I think all of us in this room absolutely love, is going to be a problem in the East. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be a problem when it comes to becoming, a top 3 point guard in the league, but they have Jarris Walker now, who I know they're extremely high on. Kind of like the Pelicans, what's going to happen with Buddy Hield and Miles Turner? Two names that we've seen kind of toss around in that trade deadline, and they're still worth something. What that value is, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're going to be just fun to watch, I think, game in and game out.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best point guards in our league. And even Benedict Mathurin, I think, is a guy who has a lot of scoring potential. So they could be a fun duo, a little 1-2 punch. One team, too, that I like kind of thought about, but in reality, I'm not going to watch every single game, is the Portland Trailblazers. I'm like really interested to see like how DeAndre Ayton plays in his new role. Obviously, Scoot Henderson is out there, and he's just a fun player to watch as well. I think we're just like, we all like watching the random young teams.
Yeah.
I was going to say a theme is youth with these three teams. I mean, the Pelicans not as much, but still unproven teams that have some hype around them.
Yeah, and I think a reason for that, too, is it's refreshing to see kind of these newer faces or you mentioned younger, unproven teams, because we know what we're getting out of Golden State, and that's not to say they're not fun to watch, but there is something cool of like these up-and-coming players as well.
Right. And I mean, I can think of the teams that are going to be good I'm probably going to watch a lot of their games, like the Mavericks, Kyrie and Luka. That duo is going to be crazy. The Bucks, Dame and Giannis, there's teams like that across the league that it's going to be a fun season to watch these guys.
Is there any teams that you're like, man, I don't think I'm going to watch any of them?
Outside of Charlotte. You can't answer Charlotte.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, are you guys going to watch Charlotte?
I mean, I'm going to tune in to watch LaMelo ball.
It's a good answer.
Is he on your fantasy
pun,
team?
too.
Yeah, it's my number one pick.
Yeah, you'll be watching him.
I'll be watching.
Yeah,
LaMelo.
thank you, Andy. Andy got my pun.
Wait, say it again.
He's going to
I said I'm going to watch LaMelo ball.
That's stupid.
The one team that I don't think I'll watch a whole lot of is the Raptors. The Raptors, they don't have any like I like Pascal Siakam, and OG's like cool, but like other than that, like none of those players really excite me. Like I'm not excited to watch Scotty Barnes or Grady Dick. Like that doesn't do anything for me.
It's probably Detroit for me.
Wow, I was going to say Cade Cunningham returning.
Yeah, I just don't have any interest in that franchise at all right now.
I mean,
Is that a little harsh? Is that a little harsh?
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you there too, but I like the Thompson twins.
Sure.
And they have one of them, so I kind of tune in mainly to watch him.
And Jalen Duren.
Yeah, I like Jalen Duren a lot too.
I would probably go with Chicago.
Good answer too.
I mean, I like Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I like DeMar DeRozan.
Sure, yeah, but like
They are kind of stuck just in purgatory.
Yeah, if they had Lonzo on their roster, like playing, I would probably not say them. But
You would watch Lonzo Ball?
I would watch Lonzo Ball if I could.
Do we pick 3 teams in the East?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
The West is so good.
It's so good.
I mean, the only team in the West that I feel like you could really say, which I said the Blazers, a lot of people I feel like will say the Blazers, but also like Utah. But at the same time, it's like they got John Collins now. Lauri Markkanen was
Lowry.
Sorry, Finland. Lowry Markkanen was just like really fun to watch last year.
He's so fun.
Yeah, you want to watch Larry ball?
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a fun season, guys. Next week, we got our predictions episode.
Next week, predictions episode. So be ready.
Yeah.
Tell them what we're predicting.
We're going to be predicting. Here's what we're predicting: where the teams will finish, West and East. So just the winners of the West and the East.
You're making this up on the fly?
No, I've had this written down. It's part of our 1-year celebration.
I was going to say.
We predict who finishes first in West and East. Then we'll predict, Western Eastern Conference Finals matchups, NBA Finals.
Continue.
What are you looking at, Chad? And is my hair messed up? Oh, thanks, Andy. We're going to be predicting the NBA Finals.
Just tack one of us in when you need a moment. You are struggling.
All right, Trev, can you finish it up?
Yes. Sports journalism degree. All right.
We hit 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just be predicting different awards, different seedings, all those things. We'll talk. Tune in.
What, guys? We did this last year.
MVP, Rookie of the Year,
Nice.
MIP, Coach of the Year. Tune in to find out. We got to leave him a little mysterious,
That's nice.
You don't show everything in the trailer, do
Well,
you?
yeah, we're not showing them the players we picked, but we're just going to tell them what we're kind of ranking.
Spit it out.
Wait, Trev, what you just said, Andy, can you make a trailer for next week?
Whoa. That's kind of cool, like a little movie trailer.
Yeah, movie trailer for predictions.
That's cool.
That's me thinking on the fly. Can your AI do that, Andy?
Yeah, the AI is specifically trained to make movie trailers.
Whoa. Could you imagine if we started every episode and it was like previously on Small Ball Podcast? And it's just like a small recap of what we talked about last week.
awesome.
He's so handsome. Oh, that would get a lot of clicks.
Oh, man.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up.
Okay.
Waiting for you to wrap up.
What's that? Dude, these shorts are just going straight into my crotch.
Ladies and gentlemen, for this week, we thank you. And how do you do it?
For the great producer Andy, Trevor Micklin, Christian Ayers, I'm Scott Ayers. We say so long for now. We will see you next week. Who dat, at GG, bye.